If you thought Erica Jane's marriage was bad, just wait until you hear about mine. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I am here to review Season 5, Episode 9 of The Real Housewives Refusing to Sit in Coach of Salt Lake City. So we start the episode off right where we left off on the couples trip to Palm Springs that Bronwyn is hosting. Her and Lisa got into it by the pool. Lisa, she sees no wrong in her behavior, right? Bronwyn, she mentioned something about her riding dick. Meanwhile, her husband, the angry version of Santa Claus, he's watching this whole scenario play out and he does not like it one bit. So he goes over to his wife and he yells at her and he was just like, Bronwyn, you need to tell Lisa that she needs to get it together or else I'm personally gonna give her a flight back to Salt Lake City and it's gonna be economy and she's gonna have no check bag and she's gonna have one carry-on luggage. So that was enough to shake Lisa to the core. So John, he goes over to tell Lisa and Lisa, she was just like, first of all, John, no, that means I'm not gonna be in the next episode, which means that they're gonna cut my Bravo check. So no, I will go the distance. I'm gonna go the distance. I'm gonna go the distance if they do that to me. So no, we're gonna stay here in Palm Springs and I'm gonna calm down. At least for 5 minutes, because then everybody gets together, right? At the breakfast table, they're eating food, everybody's having a good time, right? You know, enjoying the sun. Lisa, she's sitting across from Bronwyn and so she's like, Bronwyn, what exactly did I do to you? Like, I just feel like, you know, there's some animosity between us and like, we need to clear this up. Like, I didn't do anything to you. Of course you didn't, Lisa. Of course you didn't. So Bronwyn is trying to explain to her, but with Lisa, she only listens to you just so you could finish talking. She's not really listening to anything you have to say because she's just looking at her like, you know, I get you. Okay, so let me tell you why you're wrong. So I didn't do anything to you, Bronwyn. I feel like the real root of our problem is Whitney. I feel like Whitney's the real problem. I feel like she's a liar. All of a sudden, the second that she said that, we hear Whitney is sitting all the way at the very end of the table. I mean, we have Bronwyn, her husband, angry Santa Claus, Angie K, her husband, suspicious Shawn, who was sitting there looking suspicious. And then we have Justin, Whitney's husband. And then at the very end, we have Whitney. And she was just like, I'm not a liar, Lisa. I'm like, damn, Whitney, you're so nosy. You have like 10 people sitting between you and Bronwyn and Lisa, and you still managed to hear that and eavesdrop? Like, mind your business. So nosy, right? You know, just spitting all over everybody's breakfast. Oh, I'm not a liar, Lisa. Like, yes, you are. So then her and Lisa started going at it. And of course, we have to have negative Nancy here, Todd. He's looking at this like... So he whispers to Bronwyn, yeah, I can't do this right now. I'm just gonna go inside and wait. I can't do this right now. And you know, Bronwyn, if you're gonna continue bringing him around for these couple scenarios, these couple trips, these couple scenes, or just filming in general, you're gonna have to tell him to calm his old ass down. Like, damn, Ty, like this is history in the making. And you wanna go inside and do what? Eat some oatmeal cookies and milk, like, you know, relax. Go take a 3-hour nap before filming. That way you could come out refreshed and, you know, relax or whatever. You know, go eat a Snickers bar. You know, you're not you when you're angry. Bronwyn is trying to calm him down and she's like, relax, sugar daddy, relax. You knew that this was part of the show. You read in my season 5 contract that it said women are gonna fight over nothing. You knew this already. Whitney and Lisa, can you two just wrap this fight up already because my husband's getting kind of grouchy? Production, do you have enough footage of Lisa and Whitney fighting? You do? Okay, good. Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be so iconic. It's okay, Todd. We're gonna make some oatmeal for you in 5 minutes. Relax. So then John, he jumps in it. He's like, enough, bitches. Whitney, just ask my wife if, you know, she did anything that you're accusing her of, so that way she could deflect and lie and put it on somebody else. So then Whitney, she was just like, Lisa, did you make up those rumors about my jewelry and Alibaba? And Lisa said no, but then she came after Justin. She was just like, you know what, Whitney? It's not even between me and you. It's between me and your husband, Justin. Justin, the way you came at me the other night and you were like, fuck, like that is extremely disrespectful. My husband would never do that to your wife or to any of the women at this table. Yeah, of course he wouldn't because Whitney wouldn't be dumb. Well... She might be a little bit dumb, but she wouldn't be dumb enough to go up to anybody's husband to start mess the way you did. You came at him unprovoked, talking about his wife. Like, yeah, I don't agree. I said it before. I don't agree the way he stepped to you. But, I mean, what do you expect him to say? Just, oh, yeah, you know, my wife is a liar. I mean, he should. Because she is. But I mean, he's not gonna do that. So Justin was just like, I never said that to you. What are you talking about, Lisa? Eventually they went back and forth and I'm like, what is going on here? The husbands are activated too? Like, eventually he gave in and he was just like, okay, fine. I apologize for the way, you know, I came off because you came at me and whatever, Justin, you're better than me because I would never apologize to Lisa. And now Lisa was just like, okay, well, thank you, baby gorgeous. I guess I'll apologize too for coming at you like that too. I'm like, Lisa, so just when we thought everything was fine, right? Suspicious Shawn, he starts whispering over to NGK all suspiciously with his hat. He was just like, so Angie, I just feel like it's crazy that Lisa could apologize to everybody else, but she hasn't apologized to you for calling you a bitch. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's not right. Like, you're constantly being abused by her. Like, it's crazy to me. Lisa, I just feel like it's funny that you call my wife so many names and she has gone through so much abuse by you and you never apologized to her. I'm like, what in the Real Housewives of New Jersey is going on here? Like, the husbands are coming at the wives are coming at the husbands. At this point, just have a huge, Royal Rumble, like a tag team championship type of thing. The wives and the husbands versus the other wives and the husbands, and just fight it out. So Angie K's put on the spot, and she's like, well, Lisa, my husband, Suspicious Shawn, he has a problem with the way you speak to me and how you call me a bitch. So then Lisa, she was just like, well, first of all, if you two can't handle the way I talk, then that's not my problem. But see, the thing is, Lisa, the double standards with you, because if Angie K was to call you names or to call you the B word, you'll have a whole meltdown. You'll start crying and you'll start, telling her, oh, you can't call me that. But yeah, we're just supposed to roll over for you just because what? You're Lisa? This is why she doesn't like Bronwyn, because Bronwyn is just not going to let Lisa just walk all over her, nor Heather. So, it's just so crazy, but eventually she does give in and she's like, okay, well, I'm sorry for calling you a bitch. And that was that. So we head back over to Salt Lake City to see what Mary's up to at her house. She's going upstairs to see what her son is doing. She walks in his room and then we see Robert and his wife laying in bed and they both jump the second that Mary opens the door. I'm like, should we be filming any of this or watching any of this? Because it was just so sad to watch. Mary goes in, she sits down next to them. And obviously you could tell that both of them are on something because they're both just looking at Mary with no expression on their face. Their eyes are just like wide open. The whole entire room is just completely trashed. They're eating. They have a bunch of food and crumbs all over the bed. Mary's looking around like, okay, Robert, like, when's the last time that you cleaned up? And he's just like, oh yeah, just an hour ago. But clearly the room said otherwise, right? And the wife, or whatever she is, she's just looking at Mary like this the entire time. And it was just so sad to see that, and Mary, you could tell that it pains her to see her son in this predicament, right? She's like, maybe he's like this because of me, because I spoiled him too much. And that is so sad. As a parent, you want to give your child everything, especially if you have the money and the capability to give them everything. And then, the fact that you have to second guess that one day, like, wait a minute, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, even though that should be the right thing to do, right? And just so sad for Mary. I could tell that this really hurts her. And then she's just looking at Robert and she's trying to tell him, like, you're not ready for the real world. I want to get you ready, Robert. I want to get you ready. And Robert, he's just smiling at her all awkwardly. Again, I don't think that he was really there. He's just looking at her and her words are just going, one ear out the other. And just so sad. I really hope that she finds the help that he needs. I hope that, he gets it together for himself and his mom. And then did anybody see the wife? The wife, as Mary is talking, she tries to go for the e-cigarette or the vape or whatever she had on the bed. She tries to get it to smoke. And then he stopped her right away. Like, he grabbed her hand and he pushed it down to the bed. Like, just no respect whatsoever, lady or girl. And meanwhile, we get no scenes of Heather. I'm like, well, Heather was sitting at home like, even though I'm not on the cast trip, I know they're gonna, they're at least gonna come film at my house to see what I'm up to, right? They did it to Mary, so why not me? Loser. Speaking of, so currently I'm in Salt Lake City for a while, and it is so surreal being here and looking at the same snowy mountains that I see on this show. They look so beautiful. It is so pretty here. And every time I walk out, I think that creepy music is gonna be playing in the background, like, like, I swear I'm going to meet up with somebody for lunch to discuss our drama, right? Like, I swear that I'm a cast member, that I'm holding a snowflake just because I'm here. But if anybody's watching from the show, and you want to film with me or you want me to come over, and you want to have me as a friend of, or, possibly a new housewife, new house husband, whatever, you want to replace Heather with me, because I can bring it, I'm down, I'm here, Just let me know, just call me or whatever. But yeah, Salt Lake City is a very pretty city. So Bronwyn and Todd are throwing this big dinner party in the backyard for their anniversary. So everything is being set up, everybody's getting ready. Then we start seeing even more red flags within their marriage, because as they're getting ready, he puts the $4 million necklace that he bought for her last week, and he puts it on her, and she's like, oh, thank you so much, Santa Claus. This is what I always wanted. Thank you so much. Todd? And he just walked away from her. I'm like, wow, she was trying to be all lovey-dovey, and he was just as cold as those diamonds on the necklace. I'm like, wow, Bronwyn, I hope the necklace was worth it. Eventually, they move everything outside. Everything looks good. Everybody starts coming out one by one. They're all wearing sundresses until Lisa comes out. Lisa's dressed as if she's going shopping at the mall. I'm like, did you not get the memo? And she's like, oh my God, did I come overdressed? And did anybody hear what Todd said underneath his breath? He was talking to one of the guests, and he was just like, oh yeah, she owns a tequila company or something. That's cool. Yeah, it's a mediocre tequila, but regardless. I'm like, wow, Todd, you must have forgot that you had a mic on you. Or maybe he didn't forget. And I hope that Andy questions him and Bronwyn about that whole situation at the reunion. But, they start mingling. Lisa goes up to Bronwyn and she's like, oh my God, baby gorgeous. I love your necklace. I love it. Where did you get it? I love it. I love it. It's so shiny. I love it. And Bronwyn is just like, I just wish that she loved it enough to give me an apology. But eventually, that's not going to work, right, Bronwyn? So they sit down at the table for this infamous dinner party from hell, part 4. They're sitting down, and Bronwyn, we'll get to that. But Bronwyn, she tries to make a toast about her marriage, right? And she's like, I just want to say, that I just want to give a toast to my bank account. I mean, to my ATM. I mean, to my credit card. I mean, to my husband, Todd. He is such a wonderful man. And, he just gives me everything that I want. And I truly love him, and I appreciate our money. I mean, I love that, we have between each other, and this necklace that I got. And, I agree with what Meredith said in the confessional. She was just like, it's something very interesting between Bronwyn and her husband, Todd. It's kind of like there's tension between them for some reason, like this awkward, unspoken tension. And that's exactly what it is. It's like there's something going on between them that I thought, okay, maybe he's just cranky from last week because Lisa's being stupid. But no, I feel like there's something much more to that. And, something about Bronwyn, for me specifically, I've always been a little bit like iffy about Bronwyn. It's just something about her that I can't pinpoint just yet. But I feel like it's slowly coming to light. And all of you are going to see that. All of you are eventually going to see what I see in Bronwyn, because it's just something about her that's just very, and I don't know, the way she's just compensating for her marriage, and the way she's trying to put Todd on a pedestal, it just seems so disgenuine. Eventually, Angie K, she gets up to go get these whiteboards, right? So she gives them to the couples. She's like, okay, we're gonna play the newlywed game, and we're gonna ask each other questions about our spouses. And these questions were kind of messy, because one of the questions was, oh, what's your favorite sexual position or whatever? And I believe that Todd, he said whatever, but okay. And then Bronwyn was just like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter with me as long as we don't talk after. John's answer was, oh, I like when Lisa's on top, but when she's bouncing on it. I'm like, excuse me, John. I'm like, we barely known anything about this man in the past 4 seasons. And in the past 3 episodes, we got to know him a lot, right? I'm like, wow, bouncing on it? I could just picture her with a Wendy's double cheeseburger too. Oh, no. But what's her name? Justin. He says that he also likes when Whitney's on top. What happened to men? These men are so lazy. Men used to go to war. Now you just want to lay it back and, have somebody else just ride your dick. Like, what? Like, no, get up and do some work, slam me into the wall or slam me into the, just lazy, right? The next question was for the husbands, right? It was, who does your wife dislike the most at this table? And before any of the husbands could even say anything, Lisa, she already had her board ready. She said, Whitney. I'm like, damn, Lisa, that was personal. Like, this wasn't even for you. It was for your husband to answer. And John, he's just holding up his board like, oh, I didn't get a chance to say anything. So eventually we saw where this game was going. These questions were already on very thin ice. So they were like, okay, let's just stop playing, this game and let's do something else. So then Whitney, she asked Lisa, Lisa, do you still, oh, a ladybug. What? I love ladybugs. Do you still think that, can I get some chocolate milk? Do you still think that my husband Justin owes you an apology? And I'm like, Whitney, why are you bringing this up already? Like, Lisa, she was just like, yeah, I do think that he owes me an apology. The way he came at me for no reason, like, it was just very uncalled for. So then again, Justin jumps in and he's just like, I don't think I do. I'm not really sure what you're getting at, Lisa. But you know what? He just gave her the apology, right? Like, he just threw it at her. He was just like, fine. Like, you get that, whatever. Lisa was just like, okay, I'm sorry, that was that. Bronwyn in the confessional, she was just like, I just don't get how everybody's getting all these apologies from Lisa except me. And, eventually that was that, we thought that things were gonna, de-escalate and just enjoy, the nice little anniversary that, between Bronwyn and Todd until Angie K spoke up. Whoo, Angie. She tried to be a producer. She tried to be Heather number 2 and it just backfired because she was just like, okay, so, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something good. Bronwyn and Todd, let's talk about the relationship, between Gwen and her grandparents. As soon as she said that, I'm like, Angie, why would you even ask that? Like, I can't even fully blame what's his name, Santa Claus, for the way he responded. I mean, his nasty attitude was just very uncalled for. But I mean, I can't even blame him for being upset because the second that Angie tried to say anything, he was just like, no, we will not discuss this right now. We are not discussing this right now. No, we're not talking about Gwen. I'm sorry, we're not talking about Gwen. It's not happening. Stop. No, honestly, this shouldn't even be a conversation. Oh, I need a nap. Can you give me some porridge? But no, this is not happening. And I'm like, relax. Like somebody please get this man on the couch. Like, he needs to go rest and, put his feet in some hot water or something. Like, he needs an ice pack or something. Like, he is pissed. He was just so nasty and so rude. And again, Bronwyn, she tried to cover it up and she was just like, I don't think that, Gwen will really, like us discuss. And before she could even say anything, he cut her off again. He was just like, no, it's not about how she feels. It's just, this is how it is. And I'm like, it's just so insane. And I know that people online were describing their relationships very similar to Erica Jane and Tom Girardi. And yeah, this episode confirmed it. It reminded me of that one episode when Tom told Erica at the dinner table, Erica, be quiet, I'm talking. Same scenario, same situation. And Bronwyn, I don't know, I just feel like you're putting up with this because of the money. Because there's just no way, like, absolutely not. Like, he even told Bronwyn, he's just like, no, enough. We're done talking with this. We're done, because I said we're done. And I'm like, if I was Bronwyn, I would have told him, like, no, we're not done. Actually, no, I do want to talk about Gwen. And here, take your cheap ass necklace with you too. Here, I don't want that shit. Actually, wait a minute. I do want it. I was just talking shit. I was just pissed. I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, I didn't mean that. Like, can you just put it back on for me? Like, wait, let me not go too overboard, right? But that was just crazy. Like, he was just so nasty, such a nasty attitude. Like, I get it that he's older and, this is new to him. But yeah, if this is how it's going to be, I can definitely see him telling Bronwyn, you need to get off the show next season or, there's going to be a problem. And I feel like she's going to be like, okay, fine, like, sure, like, just to keep the luxury life or the money. That's if she doesn't have her own money. She says that she does, but at this point, I don't know, Bronwyn. And again, all these excuses that you keep making for him, just... So now it was Meredith's turn to get activated, and she aimed at suspicious Shawn, who's sitting across from her. She was just like, well, suspicious Shawn, the other night when we were at Angie K's party, I apologized to you for the situation between me and you. But while looking back on it, I actually kind of left that whole situation unfulfilled and unsatisfied. And I just feel like maybe I shouldn't have apologized. I only apologized just to make peace between me and you. And I'm a little bothered right now. And I'm like, Meredith, you're reaching. Like, what exactly is your problem now? Like, if you should have never said anything back then if you were just going to take it back a couple of episodes later. So suspicious Shawn, he's looking at her suspiciously like, what are you talking about? Like, what did I say in the podcast? Because everybody and their mother on this show is doing podcasts. What did I say that was so offensive? So Meredith was just like, I don't like that, you used my son against me. She didn't want to come off that way, that she was trying to out, what's his name? Shawn, just because, I have a son who's in the LGBTQ plus A and, all the other letters or whatever. So I can't do any of that. I can't be, this. I can't be that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not coming at you that way. And I don't know, Meredith, it does look a little bit a little wonky, but I don't know. It's involving your son, so it's a very slippery slope. But the way you're coming at Shawn like this is very uncalled for, and I'm kind of on his side because it did seem that you were trying to come off this way. And Shawn, he stood his ground. He was just like, okay, but what did I say specifically? And here goes Whitney jumping in. Whitney was just like, Meredith, just say exactly what he said. And I'm like, Whitney, shh. Like, you're gonna get called a bitch in a couple of seconds. Be quiet. So then Meredith was just like, no, I'm not saying it. You know exactly what you said, Shawn. You know exactly what it is. So Shawn is just like, look, I'm not going back against what I said. I said what I said, and if you can't tell me what it is, then it is what it is. I'm just not saying anything to you. And I'm like, it's just something about Shawn that, he just makes me feel so suspiciously. Like, he just stood his ground, right? He was not apologizing like the weak ass Justin. But, eventually Meredith was just like, okay, fine. It is what it is. Like, I guess it's okay to talk about people's children, right? That's that. So then I believe Seth, he pulls out the article, right? And he's just like, you know what? Let me just pull it out. So you said this, this, and this. And then he points the phone at Whitney. And he's just like, see, here's the proof. Biatch. Like the second that B word even came out of his mouth, Justin, he should have pulled a Teresa Giudice, hey, you prostitution whore, and just flipped the table. His hand should have been wrapped around his, and he's just sitting there like, this salad is good. Like your wife just got called a bitch. And Whitney, she was shocked. She was just like, did you just call me a bitch? Why did you call me a bitch? And Seth, I forgot what his sorry excuse was for calling her that, but Seth, that was just very uncalled for. And what did I say last week? He acts just like a frat guy, but yet he's not 21 or anything. Like I don't even know how old he is, but you're like older, and you're calling people, bitches like that. And Justin and Whitney, it should have been a double beatdown. Like Whitney should have just leaped across and started swinging on him, Meredith, and Lisa, even though Lisa has nothing to do with it, but still swing on her anyway. Justin, you should have left Seth the way Heather was 2 seasons ago with that black eye that Jen gave her, but yet he's just sitting there all quietly. But yeah, you could step to Lisa, but yet another husband comes at your wife like this, even crazier, yet nothing. So the next day they go off to watch Drag Race, not the good kind with RuPaul, the boring kind with the car. And we see in a flashback that they did have a good time the night before after that awkward dinner. They were in the pool, they were swimming around and having a good time and drinking and running around the house. And I just wish that we could see more of that. Like, yeah, we like the chaos and the drama, but I don't mind seeing them have fun and actually getting along. Like, I want to see that side of them too. So they get to the drag race place. They meet this drag race driver. He comes out. He was cute. Lisa was just like, oh my God, wait, can you lift your shirt up? Take your shirt off. Take your shirt off. I want to see you shirtless. Here goes Seth. Hey, are you single? Now wait a minute, Seth. What are you doing? Like, what? Just because you're leaving, you're trying to find your replacement for Meredith? Like, what is happening? And he's just like, oh no, I'm married. I already have a wife. And Seth was just like, oh man, I was trying to, get you together with my friend. The friend being Meredith, but okay, so that was that. I believe Bronwyn and Lisa, they tried to have this conversation there, but it was too loud in the background. So Bronwyn is just like, it's okay, we'll just talk at my $20 million house when we get back home. So eventually they head back home. Oh, and by the way, at the Drag Race place, I believe Justin and Whitney, they were looking over at Meredith and Seth, trying to be all cutesy because Meredith was sitting on his lap. And Meredith, she looked like she wanted to strangle him. She was just sitting on him like you could just tell she was pissed the entire time. I'm like, yeah, Meredith, you don't really do a good job at hiding your emotions. And it was just very awkward tension between them. And they get back to the house. So Seth, he starts packing up his stuff. He goes up to Meredith. Meredith, I gotta go now. I gotta lay over. I gotta get going for work. Like, is that okay? Meredith, again, she's looking at him like, no, I'm not okay with this at all. I want you to stay here. We're almost done with the trip. That's the other thing too, that Seth, the trip is literally almost over in like 2 seconds. Just stay a little longer. But no, right? His mistress is waiting for him, right? Alleged mistress, right? I don't know if he's cheating or not, but that's the vibe he gets. Again, your work is that stressful that you can't just stay. Like, come on now. Lisa and Bronwyn, they're by the pool. They finally have their conversation. And Bronwyn is basically begging an apology from Lisa. Like how she worded it. She was just like, Lisa, do you think that I'm two-faced the way Heather thinks that I am? Because, I keep telling you about the things that Heather said and did to me, but yet you just keep seeing it from her perspective and you keep trying to make me out to be this bad guy. Lisa, she was just like, well, you know what? See, the thing is, okay, so like, and I'm like, Lisa, again, the answer is no, but you couldn't even give that to Bronwyn, and Bronwyn is just like, you see, like, you can't even do that for me. Like, you know, and again, Lisa in the confessional was just like, well, I mean, I kind of do think that she's two-faced. How? Because she's calling you and Heather out on your terrible behavior on the show, and you don't like it? Like, that's two-faced now? Like, just insane to me. But eventually, I guess she gets a half-ass apology from Lisa, and they're cordial, at least for now. You know, that was that. They get going. You know, the trip is finally over until Angie goes up to Lisa like, Lisa, where are you sitting on the plane? And Lisa starts going crazy. Lisa looks at the thing and she's like, oh my God, wait a minute. Oh my God, no. I'm sitting in coach. I'm not sitting, I don't even wear coach, and I'm not flying coach. I'm not doing that. No, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, ew, coach? You know, no offense to anybody who, you know, sits anywhere behind that or whatever, but ew, psych. As if I'm always in economy, so. I'm looking at Lisa's tantrum like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, coach is good, right? Like, you know, you're going off for what? And Bronwyn is listening to her like, she's just going off. She's like, no, I can't do this. John, I think we need to have a layover in Los Angeles and then maybe take, you know, first class from there. And I'm like, Lisa, what? You know, because everybody has coach except, what's her name? Bronwyn and her angry husband. They have first class. But again, the whole flight is only like 45 minutes. Who cares? You know, she's just going off, and it's not like she told you, oh, you're going to be sitting in the bathroom or something. Like, it's going to be coach. And again, I'm an economy girl, so I don't really know what a coach is. So, you know, I'm assuming it's nice though, right? Yeah, but just going off for nothing. Just want to be miserable. Just so ungrateful too. Like, Bronwyn even said it. Like, I gave you this big ass jumbo jet, you know, this big ass house, this big ass everything. Everything is paid for. And yet you want to complain over a coach seat. That's 46 minutes. Like, you know, but again, this is the Real Housewives, and I love luxury, so I love that Lisa is being a little bit too dramatic over this. Like, this is, you know, the type of, what is it? The type of wealth that I want to see on the show. So if it's going to be a thing, it's going to be a thing. But that was that. Then we see the mid-season trailer, because we're already there for the rest of the season. And just when we thought that, you know, there was enough chaos on the show, you know, my Salt Lake City housewives, like, they just know how to do it. Like, they're the standard. To me, they're the standard, like, the new standard, at least, because, like, they just know how to, they know how to do it correctly, because this trailer just looks crazy. All of a sudden, we see Mexico. That's their cast trip. We see Mexico. I'm like, oh, they're going, you know, they're going outside the States again. Like, finally, damn Jen Shawn. And we see Meredith. Meredith is activated for the rest of the season. Everybody's going off. And then Whitney mentions Monica. You know, we shall see how the rest of the season plays out. But, you know, let me know what you all thought about this episode down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.